Hi, I was thinking of making another recording. I haven't done one in a while, and apparently I like to hear myself speak. Actually, I don't. But this is the Ford Dually I've been working on. As you can tell, it's pretty elaborate. I'm very proud of it. This is going to be a very cool project when it's done, including interior, as you can see. But what I wanted to do is show how, well, first of all, if you can notice, I'm kind of basing everything or the paint scheme off of this truck here, but I wanted to also get the black. You see how there's the black up here. Ooh, that's right. I need to put those lights up top. Yeah, that's going to look nice. But anyway, I wanted to put the black strip up top of the windows. And I mean, usually in a realistic photo or a realistic rendering, you're not going to have this fake shading on the windows. But I mean, that looks really nice. But again, I think what I'm going to do in that instance is I am going to just rely on the dark tint of the windows to create that effect. Um, so anyway, that's the reference I'm going off of. So back to this, as you can tell, I've sort of got the same kind of paint scheme. I've got the white uh, look here. I wonder if I should put. I may want to put. Let me zoom in here. See how there's a black border around this white. I may need to put that on there. That looks really nice. So I may go ahead and do that. Let's restore that back to default. Uh, anyway, one more thing is you see how see I'm highlighting this area right here. You see how the paint scheme kind of goes down a little bit. I need to correct that. That is on the mask, the paint mask that I've made. So anyway, the main issue on this tutorial today is I'm putting a mask on this front window here in order to mask out part of the window and make the top strip black. So first off, let's see here. I'm going to pull up the material editor, and what I need to do, I need to clear up a slot here so I can create a what's called a blend of material. First off, I need to find I guess I can clear that out. Blend hood. Okay, it's in here. I've got okay. So I need to copy this material. This is the base window material here. So if you can see that, that's the base window material. And what I'm going to do is, let's see, I have to paste it here. Actually, I need to go back because I need to make what's called a blend material. All right, so let's make the blend. Let's discard the old material. And I'm going to paste the base glass material. enlarge this. Alright, so go back up, and this material is going to be, see, normally if you look at, we zoom in, usually this is a gloss black. Alright, so we've got the window material, but now we're making a gloss black. So let's go ahead and let's just make a standard, well, Arch and Design. We will make a glossy finish, color black. Okay. For that. And now we have to put the mask in. So what I've been working on is, let's take this out of the way. This is a picture of the front of the truck rendered, just the window portion. And as you can tell, I've cut the window. Actually, let me go ahead and trim that down a little bit more. So what we're doing is we're cutting the window to just the window dimensions. What I've done is I've also created, let's delete that out. I've created a block of white material, pretty much. And I've created it in such a way as it's going to mask out the top portion of that window. Alright, so what we're going to do is, let me take this out. So what this does is the white portion of this image is going to allow my color to come through, my black color. The rest of this image is going to be the glass color. Now you would think, okay, well, the glass color is going to show up on this whole portion of the truck, the hood, the windshield wipers. No, that's not the case, because this material is only being applied to the, oops, let me reverse that. It's only going to be applied to the windshield. So only this portion of this white block is overlapping a certain part of the windshield. Okay, so I guess that's the simplest that I can explain it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as a front window mask. Alright, so that is our mask. Let's go back. And let's see, where, yeah, it should be in the right folder. Oops. So let's go ahead and select that mask. That's a bitmap. And let's see here, Ford truck blueprint. There it is, front window mask. Okay. Now look at that. You see how we've got the black section up top there. So that's nice. It's already displaying that. So it's creating a mask already. So let me close that out. Now what we have to do is we have to assign this a map channel. See this? This is map channel 1. What this does is it helps differentiate, well, for example, over here near my mouse, I've got 4 maps already. What is that for? I wonder if I can take... Oh, okay. That's for my yellow light down there. So what I need to do is I'm going to rename that UVW headlight. Alright, looks good. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to create another UVW map, and that's going to be for the windshield here. So let's go down to the base. And what seats? This truck is going to be so bad when it's done. So back to the mask. So I'm going to add a UVW map. And this map channel is, I'm just going to put it as 13. I probably don't have anything set up as 13. We've got 11, 10, 15, and 3. Well, why don't we just do 1? Because I don't have 1 set up. Alright, 1's easy. We're going to rename this. So pretty much what this map does is it helps align the graphic, whatever graphic windshield that we're placing. Oh, that's fine. Forgot the D. But any graphic that we're placing on the truck, it tells the program where to set it up. So now what I'm going to do is select all these, but I want to deselect everything else except the windshield. That's the easiest way to do it. Make sure nothing else is selected here. And I don't think anything is. So two things we're going to do here. So we've selected the windshield. What we want to do is this blend here, we're going to name it windshield, just to keep everything straight. And we've got only these polygons highlighted that we want the windshield to be. So I'm going to assign material to selection. So that puts this material on that windshield, which is the blend material. And now I'm going to click Gizmo. And we're going to fit it, but as you can tell, let me close this out here. Apparently, I guess there's more polygons or something. Let me, hold on. There's something else interfering. Try it again. Gizmo. Geez, I need to round out that. Anyway, so it looks like I'm going to have to manually fit this this map. And what we really want to do is we're going to do a bitmap fit. So let's do, what we do is we fit it to the same bitmap. And that resizes it correctly. It's supposed to. Now, what we can do is let's collapse this. Let's go back. What's nice is if we set it where we can see the material in the viewport, it really helps out fitting it. You see, we've already got a preview there of the material. So all I really need to do is drag this down to where I think it should be. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. So there's our windshield. Let's go to now. Probably going to do some adjustments here. I don't like it straight across, so I'm probably going to, let's do a test render. Save this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up just a region render, and that's just going to allow me to only render that part of the windshield. So I'm going to pause here and render it, and we'll come back. Not liking how it looks. First of all, we've got too much fade here. For some reason, the center of this graphic is coming to a peak. I think I'm able to fix that just by moving the UVW map above the symmetry modifier. Another thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and black out the edges of the windshield. That's normally how it is done. So that's one thing I want to do. I do want to add a little more curve to this surface up here above the windshield. To the body of the truck, there's a little bit more of a curve. And there's also a black molding that goes around. So it's all these details that you have to put into account if you're going to make this thing as realistic as possible. Another thing is for some reason I've lost my grill over here. So, during my build, I've accidentally moved some parts here and there for some reason. But anyway, I'm letting this slowly, this is taking its time to render out. So we're going to go ahead and let it do its thing. Okay, so I ran out of patience. I didn't need to let that render all the way to see what I needed to fix. So first of all, we're going to take windshield and move it above the symmetry modifier. That should make it a little bit smoother. But another thing I want to do is I want to round out this windshield a little bit. Oops, dang it. Go into perspective view here. What it is the windshield is not, windshield's never completely flat like I've got it. I just never got around to setting up a slope, a physically accurate lighting through the windshield. So just going to bump that out. I kind of feel like Bob Ross. We're just going to bump out those pretty little vertices. But another thing I want to catch while I'm here is I want to go ahead and I'm going to round this out too. And let's see here. That's interesting. So just going to give it a little bit of a bump. Just to help it out. It's a little too flat there. Another thing I noticed is on my door pillars, around the door, is sorry about the moments in silence, but where do I want to terminate that? I guess right there. So you see what I'm doing? I'm putting an edge, and this is going to make a lot more sense in a few minutes. So what I'm doing is I highlighted this edge here, or one of these, and I did a ring selection. Awesome. So now that's gonna, what that does is that highlights all of these edges right here. See that? That did it. Oh, it's called a ring selection, and I'm going to connect them. So that what that does is that just runs an edge directly across all of them, and all I have to do is connect these two vertices here. Now I should be able to hit select and then loop, and what that's going to do is that's going to let me select that whole section, and all I'm going to do is slightly bump it out, because that's supposed to be rounded. That door section is rounded there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save that, save those edits. See, that's all about tweaking. Alright, so let's go to camera windshield, and I'm going to crank down the anti-aliasing quantity or precision, and also don't need final gather for this. So another thing I wanted to show you, I went ahead and added the side masking. This is Adobe Fireworks. Went ahead and added the side masking. So what that's going to do is go ahead and add the black around the edges here. So I'm going to do a region render. I just want to see what how this is working out down here first. There's no final gather. Yeah. So this isn't going to be the best quality, but we don't need that when we're tweaking. So we'll let that render out and then we'll come back. Okay, to give you a heads up, I am just messing around with the mask that I'm making. I'm messing with the edge feather settings of the masked portions. So you can see up here is the dark strip. Another thing is I've set a lot of my render settings to a lower quality. You know, pretty much you don't need high quality settings when you're, you know, really just tweaking out things here and there. So I have no reflections and no refractions in the glass material. So that means that the glass isn't going to look correct. It's not going to be using physical lighting. So, but so then again, you know, so it's not the best quality render, but it's going to give us a good idea of what the end result is going to be. You know, for some reason, with reflections turned to 0, refractions turned to 0, my final gather points are smaller. So, so anyway, you're seeing no reflections, pretty much. So it's just going to be the diffuse color of the material. So we'll let this render out. Of course, it's rendering a little faster, so it won't take too long. I'll be back. Okay. So pretty much I came up with, I'm impatient. I don't like to let things render out if they don't need to be rendered out. So I'm going to tweak this mask here so that it's going to show up better. I need to tweak it on over here on top so it'll cover a little bit more of the windshield, give me an even coverage. And I want to tame it here and pull it up here. So pretty much what's a bummer is it doesn't match up. You know, for some reason it just doesn't line up like you want it to. You know, it should be a nice curve right here for the mask, but no, it doesn't want to. So first of all, I'm going to tweak this here. So pretty much all I'm going to do is bump over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bump that over about the top of that about 5 times. We're going to do the same thing here. This is a mirror image. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now I'm going to come down here. Pretty much we need to just add a point in the middle. So what I've done, let's see here. Actually, I've got to pull that up a little bit. And what's messed up is I've got to pull this down in the corner. Have no reason. I don't know why. Apparently I am doing something wrong. Another thing is, let's see, I got to add a point here. And also add a point here. Try to get it even. So we have 3 points along the top of the along that line. So I want to select those 2 outer points and drop them down. And pretty much save it, and when you save it, it updates here. Okay. So we're seeing a preview of that mask. It's looking a little bit better. This symmetry is really pissing me off here. Doesn't matter what I do with that. So it's kind of neat. It gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. So camera windshield front. Let's see here. We've got. It's almost lined up. Well, it's almost like I want it on the top on the top portions of that. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. And nudging it like that's just going to make it accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Save it. I mean, this is pretty close because at different angles you're not going to see. Let's go ahead and might as well render across the bottom. Figure out why that's not rendering. Okay, so let's do a test render. And again, I'm probably going to come back. Let's see. Let's watch it start to render here. Final gather. It's going to give you kind of a preview. Yeah, see, that's looking a lot more even across the bottom. Alright, so we'll come back. Okay, that's looking better. For some weird reason, my grill on this side is not rendering. I hate that when I can't figure out what the heck is going on. This grill is. Okay, so that's looking better on the bottom. I think I'm going to adjust the overall height of the bottom one. And let me drag this up and render just this section here. Pretty much like that. And what's nice is while that's rendering, I can come over here. Pretty much, I'm going to bump this whole thing down. 2, 3, 4, 5 bumps. Save it. It's not going to mess up the current render. And as you can tell, we're rendering here, so we'll be back on that too. Okay, so that's looking better. I like that. Okay, so this is the kind of the end result. You can see, well, what I've done here is, let me scoot this up a little bit. I don't know if you can see, I've turned off reflections, refractions, and actually disabled Final Gather. And it speeds up the rendering a lot. And it's actually, I've even come to the realization that it's a pretty good way to render fast, but you're still getting your colors and your shading. You're just not getting, you know, reflections, and you're not using Final Gather. But it gives you a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like. I went ahead and added some moldings as well. I've got some tweaking to do. You know, like say for example around this corner here. Yeah, it won't let me highlight it, but pretty much show me around the corner. This sheet metal here, I'm probably going to go ahead and just take out the that little seam. See, I've kind of got it built up and it's too complicated there, and pretty much it looks like it just doesn't need to be there. Went ahead and added a molding here, and you can see my highly detailed seats inside, so that's going to be cool. But anyway, that's pretty much it for masking. The only other thing is I may turn this into shit. I'll just go ahead and cut that out when I'm ready. So I may go ahead, instead of using a blend material for this, use a composite material. And the reason is because with the full render, with the Final Gather and everything, reflections, etc., this black actually looks like it's more embedded into the glass instead of kind of on top. So composite will let me actually composite the black on top of the glass material instead of making it a blend or blending it between the two. So that's pretty much the only thing different I'm going to do. And I'm going to take a look at this. It looks like my interior is not capping off the daylight coming through somewhere. So anyway, got a lot of tweaks to do, but that's about it. Thank you for your time.